Broadcasting from Hollywood, it's the official On Air with Brandon J podcast.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Brandon. Welcome to On Air with Brandon J. I'm joined by a special guest today, the CEO of Weisman Worldwide, Mr. Cory Weisman. Cory, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. Good to see you.
Absolutely, man. It looks like you're in Jurassic World right now with this hologram dinosaur going on behind you, man. That's
well,
incredible.
I figured I'm in my office over here, and whenever I put him out, he starts making a lot of noise, so I just let him. No, but really, we have hologram stages and displays in our offices, so it's really fun to be able to interact with some of our artwork throughout the day.
Man, what's incredible is just a few days ago, I saw a press release come out through Holly, your publicist, and I want to thank Holly Davidson and ICTPR for setting up this interview. And I saw that you have a uniquely enabled a partnership with Hypervsn, the company that Mark Cuban and Richard Branson are a part of. So tell us, what's it like working alongside with those guys?
Well, working alongside with the people at Hypervsn is a real privilege. Working with all my clients. When I started the company, I decided to take on companies, represent them, distribute their products, and just be a voice for their companies of only the best of the best. I mean, I've been in the technology business for over 20 years. I've really had a chance to vet a lot of these companies by traveling the world and seeing them in action and their use cases. And it's been I think that Hypervsn was one of the last crown jewels of all the leading tech companies that do holographic imaging in the company, because everyone that I have has a holographic solution, all my partners, but what they do have is something that's proprietary and unique from each other. So while in some instances they may compete for jobs, they may be in a certain lane for certain types of use cases, we have the privilege and honor of working with all of them and being able to combine their technologies for a higher use case potential with different types of clients, that they're not currently working with. So by combining different technologies, we have a great position in the industry, I think. And that was our goal.
That is incredible. And, speaking of various technologies, what's really interesting, Cory, we're in a unique age right now, right? We're going into, well, I would say 2024, because 2023, we're just about the halfway marker of this year.
Flying by, isn't
it? Man, time flies when you're having fun, right? Figuratively speaking. And, what's wild is I'm seeing a lot of articles, and, I was recently at NAMM in Anaheim just a few weeks ago. And, my topic of choice was AI. How is it affecting the music industry? And I don't think it's just affecting the music industry, right? I think it's affecting entertainment, technology, industrial, healthcare, you name it, right? I think that technology is evolving at such a rapid fast pace, that it's really difficult to put your finger on the pulse of what's coming and what's going. And what are your thoughts, not just necessarily speaking about AI, but what are your thoughts on Web 3.0? Do you think that these brands like Meta have found the solution, or is it premature with the Oculus headsets and things of that nature?
I think it's evolving quickly. I don't think it's reached its pinnacle yet. I think that there's a long way to go. But what I do think is that AI and everything that you're talking about right now, where computers are thinking for themselves and they're actually finding solutions, they're thinking more rapidly than a human brain can, and to finding different solutions by unlocking mathematical computations and so forth. I think that it's an exciting time. It's also a dangerous time. It has to be managed responsibly, because we've all seen the Terminator movies. We've all seen things where they applied AI from the last 20, 30 years or so in sci-fi movies. But now that it's actually becoming a real daily life enabler for us, if we use it for healthcare, like you said, to unlock the cure for cancer, etc., or be able to reach other galaxies out and look for extraterrestrial life and more intelligent life and so forth, and just expand our horizons, that's the best case scenario that human form could ever achieve, I think. But if we let it run amok and we actually use it for sinister, warmongering or other types of spying, whatever case that would be a negative use case for AI to get around certain barriers or things that we try to protect our privacy, for example. I think then you're going to have problems. So it just depends on who we elect as our leaders, who we have running these big tech companies that show responsibility towards the development of these technologies. But I think all in all, they're better than they are worse. They're better for humanity than they are worse if managed properly. And I think let me just add one thing. In my industry, we do holograms and we do AR, VR, mixed reality. We work in a lot of different types of solutions. But AI has added a whole nother dimension to our business as well, because we can, for example, many of the people listening to this interview may have seen an article or two or experienced an actor who's already passed away that we were able to bring back, or one of our associates in the industry were able to do a digital resurrection and have them speaking and answering questions through AI. There was Holocaust memorial museums where they were doing that, and they told their story, and they were able to record a lot of words from those people, and then through AI, respond to the people who are coming in to see them in the museums or the kiosks and theater situations. So AI is enabling a lot of that, and a lot of our future marketing, advertising, and other use cases, so forth, are asking for the AI application to be embedded so that we can actually have more interactivity and more immersiveness into the experience. But so I think it's touching on every industry, including ours in a big way.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, because if anybody has their finger on the pulse of where this stuff is going, I think it's you guys at Weisman Worldwide. And, I was reading some things, doing my homework. Okay, who is Cory? Where does he come from? What's his backstory? And what's interesting is you have a background in the entertainment world, and you were a consultant alongside Pixar back in the day. Tell us about your involvement working alongside Pixar.
Oh, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. That was one of the best times of my life when that period sort of emerged. I was a talent agent at ICM, which was one of the biggest talent agencies. Just recently got bought by CAA, so there's no more ICM, but it was one of the big three at the time, and always a powerhouse. And I was fortunate enough to land a job there when I moved to LA and became an agent. And it was right at the time when animation was starting to use celebrity voices, and different types of technologies were coming out. Internet was being born, and so forth. So there was a lot of crossover between live action picture movie stars and animated features, 3D animation, such as Pixar, Pacific Data Imaging, which is what did all the
Shrek and Mike Myers.
That's right. Shrek was PDI, so was Ants, and so forth. Most of the DreamWorks movies at the beginning were all through PDI. But that technology, as I was starting to work with talent in Silicon Valley to combine those resources, I had the good fortune of meeting Bill Gates when I was
wow.
And that was a life-changing experience. I worked with Patrick Stewart, was one of my clients, and what a great actor and a great gentleman.
Mr. Star Trek himself. That's amazing.
That's right. And Bill Gates was a big fan, so he brought him up there to witness this Windows 2000 launch. And as his agent, I felt compelled to attend it with him. And I had the opportunity to spend some quality time with Mr. Gates, and he inspired me to sort of lean a little bit more into tech and not so much Hollywood, but still be a conduit between the two worlds. And that was the niche that I found a lot of play in, and a lot of people interested in working with us, because we did have connections on both sides of the fence when it came to that interactivity. And the internet really bore that to be a real business in a very quick form. So it just we gambled by leaving ICM and starting Weisman Worldwide, and it paid off to take that risk.
What a story to become, go from one of the top, leading talent agencies in Hollywood. You got William Morris, now William Morris Endeavor merged. You got right. At one time CTA, UTA, ICM. Now ICM is with CAA. Now CAA is doing, film distribution and all of these things. It's like it's incredible how things evolve over time, and to see how
incestuous. It's very incestuous, especially Hollywood world, there's a lot of deal making, there's a lot of mergers and acquisitions. But at the end of the day, the talent really rules. The reason I got into this business was because I love talent so much. I love the music industry. I love the film industry. And I just love being a part of it, even though I'm not an actor or a musician, so to speak, to be behind the scenes and being a contributor to some of the final product, whether it's in the production end or whether it's in the technology end or managing a director or an actor, just being part of it and helping facilitate those wonderful outcomes for these projects makes me feel like I'm doing what I've been born to do. I love it. I'm having a great time.
Speaking of immersive experience technology, I know you're on the cusp and you're fully aware of what is going on in Las Vegas, Nevada with the MSG sphere, right? The Madison Square Garden Entertainment
Absolutely.
Sphere. What are your thoughts on the sphere? Are you seeing in the future of them integrating hologram technology and things of that nature?
Yes. I mean, from what I know about it, I haven't actually been physically inside the sphere, but we're working with Stanford University and different people in the immersive world from the education side and from the tech world that are deeply involved with that project. And from what I do know about it is that it is going to really set the bar a lot higher from anything we've ever seen before.
Yes.
I mean, they've got people from government agencies, from private sector, and from the university systems, and just a whole world of experts in this field contributing to this project. So I've been watching it being built for a couple of years now, and I'm very excited for it to open. And I'm supposed to get a sneak peek. So when I do, I'll get back with you and let you know what to expect a little bit. But yeah, I'm waiting for an invite for a preview of that facility.
I know that the rumor has it, and I have intel, but I can't disclose. There's a legendary historic rock band who is going to be at the grand opening of the MSG Sphere.
True. I think that's been published already. So.
Oh, okay. So I'm not. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. No.
NDAs, I think U2 is opening. U2 is supposed to open the
There
event.
You go. See, I didn't say it, guys. So everybody at MSG, don't be mad at Brandon J. Okay.
You can blame me. I have no problem with that.
Awesome. Cory, what do you? So we know that you've created this unique synergy, and this is why this partnership is important. Hypervsn, what are the next steps for Weisman Worldwide? What can we expect from you guys?
Well, we just recently, since we signed Hypervsn, we've also brought on another strategic partner called Immersicom, and they are widely known for their content creation in Unity and Unreal Engine. So that is the foundations for most gaming applications, as well as animation, the new form of animation, instead of doing it through CGI or other digital formats. Those two are predominant in the industry. I mean, 95% of all animation is now done through those gaming engines. And so we brought them on as a strategic partner in content creation, and we're working with them towards some contracts right now in military and aerospace and defense, which we're deeply engrossed in. We go to, we're involved with a lot of the number one, excuse me, not a lot of the number one, there's only one number one, but a lot of the top aerospace industry providers for the Defense Department in creating maintenance applications, maintenance content, as well as training programs and so forth. So I think that's where a lot of our direction for our company is headed, or most of our human resources focused on. We're still doing a lot in the entertainment world and retail. I mean, we're crossing many sectors. One of our great things that I was able to bring to America that was never here before was the hologram table, which is a multi-user table that projects images up in solid format and has some really, really amazing technologies that allow you to download unlimited amounts of data, LiDAR scans, set 3D, anything in 3D, and you can see them in full 360. And they're using those in military applications, universities, a lot of the other sectors we work in, but it's almost like being in the Iron Man movie or something else. So it's really out of this world. If you get a chance to come out and see it in LA, we'd like to have you come out. It'd be great. But it is something
absolutely. We'll have to do a tour for sure. And it's amazing because I'm just fascinated by all of this. And I was watching all of these various companies, even people like LeBron James, and they were filing trademarks in the metaverse. And I'm like, okay, something is shifting towards the Web3. And I'm curious to see how quick this thing evolves and what it evolves into, because it's creating a unique convenience a unique urgency to purchase products, and you don't even have to leave the convenience and comfort of your very own home. You can place this headset on and go into this other world. And speaking to somebody like yourself, who's involved in this capacity of, entertainment and technology, it's just awesome to see, man.
Well, thank you. There's so many applications you couldn't even imagine. I mean, we're beaming people live from one continent to another to be present at a wedding, for example. And we're beaming people. One of our companies, Art Media, who we're very proud to be in business with out of Toronto, Canada, they work with NATO very closely, and they beamed President Zelensky from the war in Ukraine to all the NATO countries to be able to speak at their congresses as well as at tech conferences. And we're working with, they have a contract with WeWork to be in 100 locations.
Amazing.
They're already in 30 locations as of now, but in the conference rooms. So what you can do is you can go rent the conference room that has their equipment embedded, and you can actually beam yourself to other countries, other cities in America, and have a meeting. If you're the CEO of a large company, for example, Coca-Cola, Amazon, whoever, and you don't want to travel the world and leave the carbon footprint, you're able to actually just walk into your home studio, like you said, not even have to leave the house, or you can go to an office or to a WeWork and you can beam yourself, and as a 3D hologram, you can be there as a hologram live in real time. All our equipment has cameras and has great sound systems, and it's two-way so that it looks like you're in both cities at the same time.
You know what I just thought about, Cory, as you were speaking? I was like, okay, if you can resurrect somebody from the dead, think about the amazingly successful Fast and the Furious franchise, right? What if they resurrect Paul Walker, the hologram version, in the film? That would be incredible, man.
It can be done. I think it's even been discussed, actually, but not particularly, but I've heard conversation about it. So
very
I don't know
cool.
if anyone want to do it for, there's a lot of things that come into play with digital resurrections. I mean, I've worked on like 19 different estates. I worked on Whitney Houston. We did on The Voice back in 2016. We worked on Jackie Wilson. We worked on Ray Charles, just many, many estates that we've worked with at developing the hologram for these different use cases, whether it's broadcast, whether it's for a tour or a residency in Vegas. And each one has their own special, unique, each estate, I should say, has their own special input. Some of them feel that it's immoral to bring back someone that they cared for, the dead, and it's eerie, it's spooky. Some people think it's some people exploit it. It depends how well it's done, if it's tasteful. Some people don't really understand the art of that. There's a very big nuance. So a lot of times you'll get one company could do it one way that it's very tasteful, and another person could take the same IP or estate and work it in a very different creative way, and then it would be a turnoff. So you got to handle these things very carefully. And when you're working with people, especially a digital resurrection where you're dealing with people's feelings, moral issues, licensing issues, and all that kind of stuff. But what I find, Art Media, for example, also worked with a lot of live events around the world. They've done Tony Robbins, for example, will stay in his home in Florida and beam himself to Australia to give a motivational speech and so forth. So it saves them.
That's amazing.
There's many instances like that I could give you from many companies. Musion.'s hologram did Narendra Modi, which was is the Prime Minister of India, but when he was a 17% chance of actually winning the election, they used his holographic technology, which is Pepper's Ghost, and they're one of the originators and patent holders of the Pepper's Ghost technology, which did Tupac at Coachella. But they did Narendra Modi, and his approval rating went from 17% to 67%, and he won the election. So basically, this hologram technology across the board with all the companies I work with have changed the world in some fashion or another, and I think it's just going to keep growing and getting more important. And new technologies are coming out to refract light and do different forms of holographic technology. And we'll be right there at their door when they're ready to enter the marketplace. That's where our goal is.
I have one word for you, Cory: game changer. Well, actually 2 words, but I said one word.
It could be a hyphenated 1 word if you.
There you go, Cory. Where can we follow you on social media?
Well, you can follow me on Facebook. I have a Weisman Worldwide Facebook page as well as a personal one. We have the same thing with Instagram and LinkedIn. And that's about it. I don't do Twitter too much. We started a Twitter page, but it just got to be too cumbersome. And for our team and for our purposes and our audience, we're mostly on those other platforms.
Cory, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview. Thank you for providing and sharing your perspective on this hologram technology, on what's getting ready to happen with Web 3.0 and what we can expect, these new exciting changes and movement in the entertainment industry and changing the environment of entertainment as a whole, not just entertainment, but every industry as a whole. And it's good to be educated and up to date on these things. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. And anytime you want to visit again, you're more than welcome in person or via Zoom like this. But we're happy to contribute and lend our knowledge on anything you might want to know in the future. But we're happy to share this with you. Thank you,
Cory. I'm getting ready for the Brandon J hologram coming to a city near you.
Dude, all you have to do is come to Beverly Hills and I'll make you a hologram. That's a promise.
Let's go. Cory Weisman, the CEO of Weisman Worldwide. I'm Brandon. We'll see you next time here on Air with Brandon J. Goodbye for now.
Thank you, Brandon.